Hey guys, it's Susan Boulware again. I am doing my research paper on how a child care center can have a high quality center to provide to children. I have done, to get some more research for myself, I did questions for the child care centers, and I only gave them to the directors of the centers. There were 9 questions, and I sent out about 50 questionnaires to the centers, and I sent them out along the 3 coastal counties of Mississippi. And this, I hope to find that how they see things are within the center, and what's important and what's quality or not quality, and how do they handle certain situations, to see if it matches back up to the research that I have been doing myself. I have worked at a child care center for 8 years, so I can relate to some of their questions and their answers. But I hope to see how they feel and all of that. I have 9 questions, and the first question is, how does having a strong education-based curriculum help with the child's education beyond the daycare? And what that means is, do you need a strong structure to introduce certain skills before they go into the elementary part of school? Or is that important? Or do you just go on a bay places every day with the center? In the classroom setting, the second question is, in the classroom setting, structure is important. How does this help the children deal with helping prepare for kindergarten? And what I mean by that question is, how can you have structure in a classroom, and why is that important compared to help prepare them for kindergarten? Because in kindergarten they do have more structure when lining up and transitioning from one activity to the next, and when they're learning certain things they have to rotate in certain ways, and if they're already building that small foundation, is that important? And I believe that it is very important. And then the third question is, because all the children come from different socioeconomics background, how is it important to be educated on how to deal with each child's differences? I find that kind of important, because we all do come from different backgrounds. We have different beliefs. We see certain things a different way than others, and that can play in your emotional part, your social part. And so for the teacher to be educated on certain cultures or coming from different areas, I think that is important to help maybe discipline the child or comfort the child. But the fourth question is, although there is no requirement to have a degree or certification to be in a classroom, how does this affect the learning in the classroom? And by this question, I was trying to see, how do you bring in people that may have experience or not experience, and how does that affect the overall classroom? If they really want to be high quality, you want centers to be a certain way, provide more education, and not treat it as a babysitting service. So you want people that understand that, and to help provide the children with more of an educational base than just not knowing what children are capable of doing. Okay, for question 5, knowing that the teachers aren't paid enough, how does this affect the turnover rate in child care centers? Now, this is very vital in this, because the turnover rate is very high. And with that, you want to know how you can compensate for being underpaid, because usually you only make just over a little bit of minimum wage. And for that, for myself, who loves working in child care centers, unfortunately I have to work, so that doesn't help provide enough income for my family and I. So I think you're more looking at maybe high schoolers coming out, or people working in college. But then you have that turnover rate, and the parents may not like that, due to the parents would like maybe the teachers to loop up with the children to go to the next grade, classroom up, or seeing unfamiliar faces consistently is not something parents like to see either. So having that, you just want to see how that affects the daycare center. Question number 6, how does the center handle the teacher's emotions of self-worth to keep the teacher focused on their job? Knowing that it's hard for teachers to feel worth anything, because sometimes what they teach the children may not come to tuition right away, but later on it will. So you always want to make sure that you're telling the teachers they're doing a good job and kind of rewarding them throughout when they have the children have mastered something, and just make them feel worth something, because people just think watching children are just, that's common life because people have children all the time. But when children accomplish something, that is a big deal, and you want the teachers to understand that. For question 7, parent involvement is a huge factor in the child's life. How can activities help improve the relationship between the child and parent? Now, this is also vital, because the more that you can offer for the parent, that can help them if they are not heavily involved or they don't see being so much involved is important. But this can help in a way of providing activities, and when they see the what the children have accomplished and are doing, they understand what they do every day on a daily basis, and they'll take part into it a little bit more. So, and parent involvement also goes along with, right now, it all goes all the way up through high school. It's been proven to know that grades are better. Their work ethic is a little bit different, and it's a lot better actually, and they'll be involved in more activities within schools as they get older and stuff. And so it can carry on out through college. So now setting a foundation of parent-child relationship within education is very important. Now, question 8 is, communication plays an important role in a relationship, and how can that help? Well, you always want to be open with parents, but you got to watch how you say certain things, and you can't just ramble off with the mouth. Usually a good teacher conference is good, and always good to get across things that the teacher may see in the development of the child. But also when there's activities going on, you always want to make sure there's notes, places, do a personal phone call or whatever, keep up email, or any kind of open communication is always great to have that. Now with the child care, question 9, sorry. Children have different emotional states. How can having a plan for each child help with the teacher and build a safe environment? Children at such a young age, people don't understand their development yet, so you never know if they do have any form of disabilities yet. So being able to help with that is a big deal right now, and you just want to make sure that the teacher understands that and gives the child what they need to make them feel safe, because you never want a child to be too upset. So my results on the questions were, for question 1 was 100% agree on the educational-based curriculum, because they feel that they are a need to prove that they do provide children with an education and that they are learning. Question 2, for the structure, 90% felt that the structure was key, but 10% said the structure was important, but was only one of the several important factors. Question 3, 60% felt it was important to be educated on dealing with different backgrounds. 30% said it was necessary to be versatile, but 10% felt it wasn't necessary to be formally educated. 70% believe a degree, on question 4, 70% believe a degree or certification would improve the level of learning in the classroom, but 30% believe that the requirement to have a degree would make it difficult to find workers, which is true. Question 5, believe for the low pay, for the high turnover, is 85% believe that low pay causes a high turnover. 15% believe that stress on the job causes the high turnover. Question 6, how does the center handle the teacher's emotional and self-worth? 60% of the centers address the teacher emotions by allowing teachers creative freedom in their classroom. 20% do not have a formal structure. 10% hold meetings, and 10% offer benefits like time off and stuff when the center closes and stuff like that. Question 7, 85% believe parent involvement helps to strengthen relationships. 15% believe activities are not an effective on the parent-child relationship. Question 8, 100% feel the center sets the tone for communication. So that's a good thing. Question 9, 90% believe it is important to understand each child's emotional state. and how to manage the classroom as a safe environment. 10% believe in a whole view of being prepared. So I feel I got some pretty good, strong answers, and I hope the research goes well. Thanks.